Welcome to Invite Sent. We are a live streaming show where we interview people and play video games.
Jason, get it in there.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's go. Got him. Got, son. Still there. Got him.
Excited for that. Ooh, just got in front of you. So I think that.
Got him.
Let's just get that.
He's upset. He's uninstalling the game.
Oh, watch it.
You should have seen I jumped right into it.
Oh boy.
Oh, they're here. Hiya. How do I shoot them? I have a gun, don't I?
No, you don't want to. I would never probably shoot right now in their seat because your job is to heal us.
Okay. I like to jump right into the gameplay and start asking questions because there's plenty of interviews out there that are just two faces side by side talking about something. But let's not do that. Let's ask you hard questions while you're trying to play a video game on live stream.
I don't think I can talk and clean. It's very complicated.
What is your earliest memory of playing video games?
I do remember playing Pong on, it's probably like the Intellivision.
What was your go-to game then, girl?
A lot of people probably don't know what this is, but it's Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
We had our event last year. I don't even think we were really using the term metaverse. We were just saying we're going to be in Decentraland. Or maybe we did use the term metaverse, but like it wasn't popular. Just like blockchain and crypto didn't really become popular, mainstream popular, until NBA Top Shot created those moments and then NFT became popular.
Man, I'm glad you're asking these questions.
One of my go-to games was probably NBA Street Volume 2.
Oh man, you just got picked like a seedless grape.
We are the best video game players in this video.
On stream.
On this specific stream. Let me ask this. Why coach? Why coach esports?
I always was an avid gamer. You know, I fell in love with gaming. Life happened.
Yeah.
Got out of gaming for a while, then went back in because of some of my students. You know, I just saw all the career and college pathways, man. And I was like, I don't think nobody else is looking at it the way I'm looking at this thing.
Helps us quite a bit.
I fell off. I fell. I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's dumb.
Okay.
That's first of
that
all,
happens.
That's dumb that they have a place to. My kill cam is me? Dadgummit. Yeah, that happens in pro Overwatch. Your kill cam is yourself. Oh, I fell off the freaking thing again.
There we go.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Okay. Oh no, did you die? Oh my god. Oh gosh.
Get your school into the high school esports league community. It's complete.
I think those conversations are important to normalize that it's not okay, because as long as you keep saying like this is not okay, then tell me what is okay. And then having those strong females within the game space is also definitely a move in the right direction.
I feel like my games were a little easier earlier when I had my lobbies. Pretty sure.
Well, those were bot lobbies. So.
Those were bot.
They didn't think they could be here. They thought it was just a boys' game, or they weren't comfortable. They didn't want to compete. That really highlighted the fact that we've got to make it more inclusive for girls. We have to make welcoming, open environments. We have to give them champions and examples of mentors that they can see and that they can be. And despite whatever culture or society says, they absolutely are a part of this world, and they can absolutely make a difference in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, art.
So this was a Kickstarter project, correct?
Yeah, so I scraped money together on my own when we went up to Kickstarter.
At what point would we say they move from club to designated under the school's banner?
Obviously, it's going to come from support staff. Having a director of a program and then having per game coaches, I think, is a great way to help with that.
The parent interaction is a big part of it, especially for somebody who's in this industry and, fought to try and be here. What I see is, what I strive for is to show parents that gaming is a legitimate way to create a career for yourself, right? And these tournaments do that.
Because when it comes to character creators, the disabled community is not really represented in the game itself. That was something that we wanted to attack on our way in. So one of the first things we ever built was this character creator. We call them enhancements. So the wheelchairs, you've got different prosthetic,
different eye colors as well.
Heterochromia, different color eyes is heterochromia, which is like super common.
Oh, on this one, you shoot his legs out and then he falls over. And okay, he disappeared for some reason. Okay.
It's one of my favorite things about Apex is I can do absolutely nothing in this period right here.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, look at this! I'm flying. This reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, which have you ever played Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah. My 9-year-old big fan.
So I won victory. Dad dab. Yes. I'm over here hitting R like I'm reloading my gun accidentally for some reason. I have no idea. Or C to crouch. And
I said, so, hey, have you heard about esports and how it's benefiting schools and how it's doing all this for students? And they said, I've heard some of it. Well, did you know that it's happening right now and it's something that you guys can jump on board with?
So I was a sergeant. I was an E5. Seeing the work that we were doing with the kids and seeing like, hey, this is something that we can really build and make a positive influence on the kids that we're working with.
Particularly, Bubba, here's my big thing, particularly people who look like me.
Yeah.
In the educational technology space and in the esports space, because I said that it's being underserved. I need for directors, I need for teachers, I need for students, I need for anybody to, when I'm talking to them, they say, oh, whoa. And they may not say it, but I know sometimes they're thinking it, well, there's this African-American, there's this black man in this space talking esports, talking educational technology. We may have not seen that before, and that's important.
Like as you said earlier, you mentioned like a parent asking about esports challenges for their kid. I think that's like wonderful. Like how many parents back in the day actually had interest in gaming when it's not like, academically viable.
And so I reached out to Mike and Christy. Their contact information was on there. I found them through High School Esports League, which was our league, coincidentally. Christy answered my email and she was like, you've got some technical questions. I'm gonna loop Mike in on this.
Of course.
It was just the best meeting I've ever had.
Hey, I know you're already going to be here for the tennis tournament. You got to come by, dude. Take 15 minutes out of the tennis tournament. Come inside. Get a breath of the air-conditioned air, and just come see what my kids are doing. And that's all it took. They just had to see it with their own eyes. Oh, these are the kids that are playing in esports. It was the kids who ate lunch by themselves, the kids with no friends, the kids, we were worried about them dropping out of school. But hey, you know what? They came to school on Friday because they wanted to play Super Smash Brothers in the library.
My name's Kyle Mullins. I'm the youth pastor and work with 6th through 12th graders. It's probably where we started spending the most time together is when we went to China and put on a soccer camp. And then got into streaming a couple months ago between my fumbling through the world and gaming all of my life, but now fumbling into streaming and stuff.
One of the things that's really important to me is the kids learn to be positive influence, to not be toxic. I've seen kids get really mean and be bullies.
If the industry truly wants to actually serve these communities, and it's going to come from the publisher down, we're going to have to provide support behind titles that can be played on the platform that these communities can actually have access to. It comes from the publisher down, it's just the empathy comes from the businesses and the consumers down.
You know what? Let me in front of you. Let me be your shield, and that way you don't die as quick.
In addition, I think one of the more exciting things I got to do is I got to be one of the official co-streamers for the Overwatch League opening day this past season.
Well, my background's actually in acting. I went to school for musical theater back in the day. I don't think I can talk and clean. It's very complicated.
All good things sometimes must come to an end. I'm actually leaving the world of education.
What?
Yep, big reveal. 6 days. I'm actually in conversations right now about my next steps.
This was announced officially here in the public on the show. Were you a CIA agent? I just have to ask you.
I was not. I did work in the Bureau of Intelligence and Research.
Oh crap! Oh crap!
Oh no! Well, it looks like.
I should have stayed so close to the edge.
ESA is the voice and advocate for the video game industry in the United States.
And we're really lucky in that we get to stay really mission driven and stay focused on the impact that this is having on students and schools. We don't really need to get into the nitty gritty of the numbers, which is, I think the thing is like an educator you probably fear when you're leaving the classroom.
If you'd like to be on Invite Sent to be interviewed and play video games, please go to bubbagatter.com and request to be on the show. And I'll let you know if the invite is sent.
Oh my god.
Trade.
Yeah. Come on in, big guy. Come on. You won't.
How do you heal and how do you live? What?
She threw a black hole at us like Thanos. You can't. That's not a button. I don't have that button.
I don't have that button either. All right. all right. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Invite Sent. We are a live streaming show where we interview people and play video games. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody in the chat, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you guys for being here, dropping in, saying hello. We're going to have a fun day because we're going to play a game that I have really enjoyed the past year. A little bit of fork and knife, as the kids probably don't say. We're going to play some Fortnite. But I'm going to bring in my guest today, very special guest, the one and the only Adam Rymer here is today. He is a media and entertainment advisor. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. Good to be here. Good to see you.
Man, I am pumped. I'm pumped. I'm ready to get carried by this. What skin is that? What am I seeing here? Is it a pirate?
It's pirate.
Oh, I
It's
like
old
it.
school.
I
Old
like
school.
it. I like it. Very good. Well, welcome to Invite Sent. Thank you for taking the time to jump on the old video games and play a little Fortnite with me. How many wins do you think we're gonna get today?
I'll be happy if we get one. I will. I'll be
I agree.
happy if we get one.
I agree. I'm probably in like, can we get a top 10? We'll see. We'll see. I got this low level character. We'll see. He's only a fan of you. He's not you. So he'll have to get carried for sure. Okay. As we're doing this, fill me in, Adam. What was your first game you ever played growing up?
Gosh, I mean, I was a early days Atari 2600 guy, playing Pitfall. Pitfall was probably the first thing that really got me hooked on games. You know, it was like more variety. I think I had Asteroids and Mission Control and all those old Atari 2600 games, but couldn't quite get into those. Just a little too kind of bits and bytes.
Yeah.
But Pitfall was the first one that felt like, hey, there's a storyline here, and then after that, it was like all those King's Quest games.
Oh, baby. King's Quest.
Yeah, that was kind of after Zork. It was like,
oh
man,
yes,
this is awesome.
King's Quest was the way to go. That was some of my favorite gaming. I'm gonna jump right in the middle, right down to the whatever this
All right,
is.
I'm following you.
Let's do this.
I don't know where anything is anymore.
Yeah, it's all right. This is like the middle tilted towers kind of thing. I guess it's a hot zone. I'm gonna try and probably hit this tower right here. Okay, so speaking of tower, King's Quest. Now, out of the King's Quest, did you do like the text adventure ones? I love those.
Love them. I saw. Did you see? I don't know if you saw recently. Like, so ChatGPT had somebody. They asked ChatGPT to do like images of Zork, like try to create.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Okay, so, well, what they turn up with? Anything really cool?
Yeah, I mean, like it represented the game pretty well because look, it's a text-based game, right? So you input all the text of the game, and it just spits out. Spits out exactly what you think the game is.
Oh, this dude's lighting me up. Come here, dude. Come here, boy. Oh, he's on my back. Run away. Ooh, this guy. I gotta come to you. There we go. He's down. Let's go. There's a dude inside the building here. Let's go. He's toast. There's a good pot there, or a good chest. That's when you throw the grenade at him. Like a true noob. Oh, toast. See ya.
We got one more.
Yeah. I'm chasing this guy. See if I can get him. Yes! The grenade kill! 2 grenade kills. That's when you know you're playing a bot. I'm liking that. Now, did you play any other Sierra games like Police Quest? Or Space Quest?
Space Quest, and then you know, ads got to be a little bit older, Leisure Suit Larry and all that.
Oh, Leisure Suit Larry.
There was Police Quest, which was one of the lesser known ones. Out of ammo.
Yeah. I loved all those Quest games for sure. Played a ton of Police Quest. I still have them on CD, and I load them up every once in a while. Oh yeah, man. There's some of my faves. Let's see.
And then after, you know, the one game that I never really, I mean, look, I played Zelda for
Oh, okay, sure.
a bit when back in the early days, like the
Mhm.
original Zelda and all that. But
Yeah,
I never really got into the new ones.
I'm with
I
you.
know everybody loves them.
I'm with you. I understand that. It's what about like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like Nintendo? Did you ever rock that? Did you ever rock Nintendo? Where was that in your?
Yeah, it was when that was the only thing out there, and then
Uh-huh.
once PlayStation and Xbox started coming along, I was
Mhm.
like, this is my jam.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so that's young time. As you got older, oh, I gotta go kill this dude. I just can't see the shots and not go after him. As you got older, let's say, so PlayStation. What was what were your go-to games then in that world?
That was like, so now we're talking like college days, and it was like SSX. SSX was like snowboarding.
Yeah.
So this is like a lot during the sports games were starting to come out. And then after that, it was like I kind of went right to Diablo.
Ooh, which Diablo was this?
This is Diablo 2, or maybe the first. I don't know when the first one came out, but I remember building a PC shortly after college.
Yeah, there we go. Toast. Let's go. We got 9 kills total. Is that what I see?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Now, what Diablo was this? What number?
I can't remember if it's the first one or the second one. But it was
Okay.
we built a LAN in our house, and I built a PC.
Nice.
And we'd get home from work at like 11 o'clock at night, and my roommate and I would just play Diablo until 3 o'clock in the morning, and we would do it all.
Oh, this guy came out of nowhere. Man, the shotgun does not have spray. It is quite annoying. There's some minis. There you go. That is the only downside about these new shotguns I'm noticing is the spray on them, and you have to be the little marker, the dot crosshair has to be right on them. Can't just get lucky. I've noticed. Okay, so we are moving to that now. This is 90s, or where are we at now?
We got a guy over here.
All right, ping me. Where are we going? Oh, I see him. Maybe.
This is late 90s.
Okay, late 90s. Okay.
And then I stopped playing for a while.
Yeah. I'm gonna get this
Then
thing.
then it was career. Career's got to take the lead.
You're a millennial, or Xer, Gen X. I don't really know.
Got a shotgun, so
it's rough, right?
All right, that's a little bit.
All right. I'm gonna take care of these guys over here.
I'm coming for you.
They like to run. Crack the shield. Come on. The mobility I've noticed though is you've really got to get a truck or a car or something if you want to get around in this map. It's just it seems to be a little quite rough to get where you want, especially if you're chasing people. There we go. All right, so 90s, 100%. Oh, I need to get to you. Where are you? Woo! I left you. You want to go west to those shots?
Yeah, they're still coming
quite a bit. I'll meet you over there. We're gonna hold them on the storm for sure. Now you play. You see?
I got guys right here.
All right. Sounds like you said you played a lot of Fortnite with your kiddos, or played
Yeah,
something.
so when I moved to Texas a couple years ago, to take the NB job.
Yeah.
I left my family back in LA. And my son and I would play Fortnite every night while I was here as a way to just hang out. So at the time he was like 8, And we just get on video and sort of play Fortnite. And like, you know, if anybody's got like sort of younger kids, like, you know, it's pretty tough to find ways to communicate and talk about what's going on. But,
right.
we sit and play, you know, kind of do this, and we talk about his day and what's going on and his friends and all that kind of thing. Except we, you know, take out some guys while we're doing it.
I that to me is the nice, what I like to call windshield time. You're just talking to your kids and you're just hanging out, driving the car, and you just get to talk without staring at each other, and I think that is a very good tool for families or anybody, relationships of any kind. There's some splashies for you. All right, we got 19 kills. We're doing all right. I think we're gonna get this dub. So this is how they make video games, which I'd love to talk to you here a bit about, maybe video game creation. But since we're moving kind of timeline wise, you said career, and what, like, in the gaming space or entertainment space or media space, where'd you start out?
Yeah, so look, first I was a management consultant, and this is the late 90s. And, you know, so if you haven't heard this, late 90s was kind of a time when the internet was just starting to really come online. And it was really, took a long time to download anything. So the idea of the internet and entertainment was like not exactly connected. You could maybe buy a book and that would get shipped to you in a week. But I got pretty excited about music. Like the first MP3 files were starting to go around on the internet. And it took about 5 minutes to download a song. Like it was kind of one-to-one time in terms of downloading a song. But you could do it, and then you could listen to these songs on the first MP3 players that were out there, and I thought that was just the coolest thing. So I thought I had this idea that was going to totally change the music business, which led me to a job in the music industry in the late 90s, like right a couple months before Napster happened. I found myself in the music industry working for Universal Music, and was trying to figure out how do we make digital music a reality when that's what people want to do. It's not about selling CDs anymore. It's about
What was the? You were saying you want to change the industry. What did you want to?
Well, we actually presented a plan to Universal back in the 90s. There was subscription. It was based on subscription music. Very similar to what Spotify is today. We basically said, look, the average person spends about 60, 70 bucks a year on music. You just have them spend that over the course of, you know, a year and $5, $6 a month. It's all the same numbers. You just got to figure out how you allocate that to all the artists and everything else. Well, obviously that's a lot more complicated than it sounds, so it took a long time to actually pull that off. But yeah, that was kind of the notion of it back then.
I don't know where he went. Oh, he's over here. Oh, getting shot from behind. Got some people running up on us. Oh, he's down.
I got that guy.
Oh. Nice.
So anyway, the music industry kind of fell apart, and I went to business school at that point. I figured if there was still a music industry to go back to, I'd go back.
Yeah.
But there wasn't, so I ended up in the film business at Universal in LA.
Okay, wow.
So I figured I'd do the same kind of thing there, right? So now we're talking about the early 2000s. Internet's come a long way. Speeds are a lot faster, and I'm starting to work with Universal on, okay, now it's time to start thinking about selling movies on the internet. iTunes is just coming on board, and Netflix is starting to put DVDs in the mail.
Those days. So did you play any during the Goku and?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but instead of a beam, this thing lunges you forward with a huge punch, basically.
Got it.
Yeah. It's like if you don't know how to really use it, you basically then wind up getting shot in the air. That sort of thing.
So that was an amazing time to be in the film business. So
yeah.
you know, it's a time when DVDs were still really popular.
Right.
The first things were getting done with things like Hulu, and you know, Netflix was starting to do their streaming service, and iTunes was starting to sell movies, and the iPhone was coming out. Like it was a really fun time to be around.
We get this Paxi over there. Wow. Yeah, you're in the thick of it. That's really fun. I mean, are there stories out there that like the public just, oh shoot, that's the daggum. We got him. Oh, I didn't even hit him. I'm gonna go after these guys first. Oh, Squidward. There he is. He's dead. One guy behind us. Oh yeah, use that thing. So yeah, the right click lets you jump and move really far, and then left click bashes people. Ooh, nice. There you go. He's gone. We lost him. I don't even know where he went.
He'll tell you what, he'll find us.
Yeah, he will. Oh, there he is. There we go. So yeah, like, you know, you see movies about those time and the Facebooks and everything and the media, and is there something is there something just really cool that like you got this really cool story that you share at, you know, cocktail hours about the industry?
I mean, I got there's so many stories. You know, you can't live in Hollywood for 20 years and be involved in a whole bunch of movies. Stories.
Wow.
Look, I mean, a lot of fun stuff happened. I mean, the coolest thing for me personally that got to happen was I was a big volleyball player.
Oh, okay.
Growing up,
yeah.
And you know, I grew up in Florida, played on the beach. That was kind of what I did in my free time in middle school and high school. And then I'm living in LA, and a friend of mine was working for the AVP, which is the beach volleyball, pro beach volleyball club. And he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, look, the USA Volleyball, which is the governing body for the sport of volleyball, is looking for board of directors people, and you'd be great to apply for it."
Right.
And so I did. And next thing I knew, I was on the board of USA Volleyball for about 6 years. That was crap.
It'll get harder as I level up. I knew this about you, volleyball. I was very excited to hear about that because when I worked in sports commission world, tourism, we met with them, and I went to Colorado Springs to do some training out there. Really love that.
So I had to go out there about 3 times a year, and I found myself all of a sudden kind of working with these athletes and coaches who I had been looking up to, right? I mean, imagine being a fan of the NBA and all of a sudden you're like, you've got LeBron James sitting next to you. Like that was what it was like. And so for me, that was just like a really cool kind of moment of how, I don't know how the heck this happened, but it was pretty great. Got to go to the Olympics with the team in 2012 in London. Got to see a couple medals get awarded. I mean, it was just a really fantastic experience that I don't know if would have happened if it wasn't for all the other stuff that was kind of going on at the same time. And then after I left Universal Pictures, I became a film producer. And I guess the coolest thing that happened there, the best story there, it's like, you know, it's making movies, and I had some great partners in making movies. And we made a film with Rob Pattinson and Guy Pearce that was in the Cannes Film Festival.
Wow. So
got to go out to Cannes and go do the whole red carpet thing and have your name up on the screen, and you know, that was a pretty neat experience.
So Robert Pattinson and who did you say?
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Some heavy hitters. Now you're producing?
Yeah, I handled all the finances for those movies, so you know, put all the financial packages together, pre-sold internationally. You know, every film. A lot of people don't think about this, but like every film is kind of a venture business. You know, every film, the cost of making a movie, and we're not talking the big giant budget Avatar kind of things, or even the Mission Impossible things, but you know, even your average size movie, like let's say it costs 30-40 million bucks. That's it's like starting a company. I mean, every
Yeah,
film
right.
is like an
That
entire
makes sense.
company getting started from scratch, and you know, it takes a lot to get these things going. You got financial people, you got people organizing it, you got producers, there's a lot that goes into it, and the whole company kind of gets put together and completed in the space, at least from the production side of it, in the space of, you know, 3 months. And then after that, it's marketing and production and marketing and distribution, and there's a lot more to it than obviously just the making of the physical production.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of stuff that just kind of happens over the course of a few months of shooting. Then you got all the post-production visual effects, and that's its own part of the business. That's one area that I've never really spent a lot of time in, but deserves a lot of focus, especially these days.
I got splashes here. I always wondered. I didn't know what the producer honestly did, because I recently learned the executive producers are funders of the film. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Oftentimes.
Oh, here we go. At the tower here. It's a bear. Nice kill. Yeah, that's what I didn't know. I didn't actually understand how that worked, but maybe I had heard that somebody was an executive producer. So yeah, I guess I don't know the rules, but that's
I don't know if there's hard and fast rules, but there's definitely some rules about having a producer title versus an executive producer title.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there's qualifications for the guilds and all those kinds of things.
Okay, man. And now,
but yeah, producers are. I mean, you know, think of them as kind of the leadership of getting a film made.
Okay.
To make sure it actually gets made on budget, on time, delivering all the things that it needs to get done. Because oftentimes you got debt associated with a lot of these movies as well. It's not just equity that's being put in, and if you don't get the movie done, then the bank can take over your film, and that's not good. So you need some oversight. Otherwise, it ends up looking like we've all seen companies without a whole lot of grown-ups in them.
Sure. Oh yeah. Lots of startups, lots of new folks. I mean, I'm only 40 and I run a nonprofit for the past 3 years. Luckily I've done a few nonprofits over the years, but yes, I totally agree. Lots of youngins. Is that would you say people more get their start in indie films if they're young like that anyways?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, this dude's coming for us.
Look, it's obviously the film business has changed a lot from the time that I was there. I got into the film business in 2002, and I left in 2014 somewhat. I went to Legendary Entertainment in 2015 when I took over operations for Nerdist and then Geek and Sundry, and that's where we worked on Critical Role and all those kinds of things. So wasn't as involved in the film part of the business at that point, but still around the film business and I mean, what it is now versus what it was when I really truly left the film business in 2017, totally different.
This dude's about to get lit up. Wherever he is, somewhere over here. Oh, he's in the water. He's swimming away. Come on, bro. He's throwing a grenade at me. Okay, that wasn't him, because I thought I heard a hammer. When you look back to all you've accomplished, before we go into where you are now, what you're doing in kind of the last few years, like where do you think you enjoyed and had the most success? What role and responsibility or career path or career area? Because you've done a lot.
It's been a lot. I'd say look, it's hard to say where it's been the most success. You know, the places where I can say that the places where I've found the things that have been around me where I've had the most success are places where people have been really open to change, right? Where
Yeah.
where people have recognized that there's reasons for change to happen and have sort of gone with accepting and work together on creating that change, and not said we're just going to keep doing things the way that we've always done.
Okay, I like that, man. I like that. Let's jump in. Go ahead.
The place where everything that I'm trying to do going forward is trying to continue to work with companies that are looking around the corner, that are trying to figure out like what's changing in my business that we don't necessarily understand. And now we're seeing a lot of things like whether it's artificial intelligence or Web3 kind of stuff. There's so many more things coming that are impacting every business. It used to be pretty straightforward. It was like, look, we're moving from physical to digital. That was that was the big thing. Now everything's digital, but now we're seeing the impact of AI and everything.
Even more digital.
And data. The data aspects in all of this is massive. And I don't think enough people are spending a lot of time thinking about data, consumer data, and what's out there. Google obviously does a great job sharing some of that data in a way that helps them monetize. But what we can all be doing with that and the learnings that we can get from it is pretty powerful.
Get over there. There we go. I want to jump into, and I don't know where this is in your timeline, but your video game creation days.
Yeah.
How'd this start? What did you build? Why? How?
Yeah, so when I was at Universal, after being part of the strategy group for about 3 years, I got put in charge of all the digital businesses at Universal. And one of the things that included was video games.
Okay.
So that was both the licensing side of games. So that was making games like Scarface. We made a Scarface game. And also creating our own games from scratch. So we actually funded some games on our own, which was a lot of fun. So we ended up making we made 2 games during the time that I was in charge of the group. We made a game called Wanted.
Ooh, yeah.
If you remember that movie with Angelina Jolie.
I love that game. And Professor Xavier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, come on, dude. Get you one shot. Oh, this gun. There you go.
And that was, we were working with some great folks and developed the mechanic of shooting curved bullets, right? Like from the movie.
Yeah. So that was the game was based off that movie?
So that was the key mechanic in the game, was curved bullets, and being able to have maps where you had to curve your bullet in order to actually get around the map and get some of the kills you needed to. And then we made a kids game called Tales of Despero, which was a blow up in the universe of the movie, and then we made the game based on it. And that was more for the Nintendo DS. But Wanted was a game that we made that was released on just about every console. And I'll tell you, being a first-time game producer and trying to learn all the aspects of publishing and platform distribution, and it's complicated.
I bet. I mean, how many checks and balances are there? I feel like video games run through just watching things like a Silicon Valley or what's the new show, Mythic Quest on HBO?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the biggest thing I learned was about QA, right? I mean, QA is people talk about QA all the time.
Okay.
But until you've actually really gone through a QA process, I don't think you really understand.
Okay.
I mean, QA is, I think that's, folks who are really involved in QA and do a great job with QA is what a difficult, complicated job that is, because you're trying to release a product which, once it's out in the wild, I mean, it's out.
Right.
You can release patches, and obviously there's a lot more systems now than there used to be. It used to be, hey, here's a bunch of floppy disks, and if it doesn't work, that's it. Now you can release patches and everything else, but still, I mean, we've seen all these releases for the last couple of years that, day one patch, right? That's the
wow.
And you know, the QA process starts kind of day one of development and never really ends. And it's to me, it's the most critical. If you don't have a good QA process built in, then you're destined to disaster.
Oh, poor little guy. Oh, long range it is not. There we go. I think that reminds me of probably one of the last episodes I probably watched in Mythic Quest was don't release it until you get feedback.
Yeah.
And
that goes for just about everything.
and I, from what I understand, even Fortnite is really good at taking feedback and changing their game based on over the years. I've noticed, and I've heard people say that. I would agree. How do you feel about like updates in newer games when it comes to feedback or Q&A?
Well, I think, look, now that we're moving into this live ops world of gaming, you have to be constantly looking at feedback, and you have to constantly be looking at the data, right? I mean, who's got more data on Fortnite than Epic, right? They're looking at this stuff. They know everything. They know how many bullets were fired. They know how many, the percentage of people getting hit. They know what parts of the map those bullets are fired. I mean, they know everything already. Like when they're doing those focus groups, because you know we both played this game enough to, you know, have gotten those surveys. I'm sure. You know, hey, what part of the game do you like? What part of the game do you not like? And you know, I feel like the things I say are being used in that, but the truth is, they probably already know the answer.
Oh, this kid's toast. That's a good point. So do you think then if they know the answer already, does it behoove them to even get it from the audience or the players?
I think it's always good to double check what you think you know from the data. Data's still only as good as people interpreting it. It's still always good to get the actual feedback.
Yeah. Well, does it have anything like if they know the answer, but maybe they want the ability for their fans to also say the same thing, so the fans can feel like they're also a part of the decision?
Absolutely.
Kids getting wrecked. These bots are wrecked. Oh man. Did you like this hammer? Oh, we gotta move. Shoot.
You can fly.
Yeah.
I like the hammer. It's good for. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you can jump out in front of me. Oh, it didn't work. I was too far away. I don't know how to do it. Oh no, I'm about to take fall damage. Oops. Okay. I love all this, man. This is really great history of the things you're involved in and the amazing history of the media and entertainment business. Is there someone super famous that you were super excited to meet, or like, I mean, in any realm, gaming? I mean, it's hard for you to fangirl when you are like pretty famous.
Most of the time, the times when the truth of the matter is, oftentimes when I meet somebody, it's business related, and I don't have the luxury of being able to fangirl out, fanboy out. It's like this one time I'm at Universal, right, and we were releasing King Kong. The Peter Jackson King Kong, right? And Peter Jackson had just come off of doing all Lord of the Rings movies.
Okay.
And Peter Jackson wanted to do King Kong in 3D because 3D was just starting to be kind of the big thing that was going around. And I had to get on a call with Peter.
What?
Just me and him.
Wow.
And explain to him why. Like, what were the pros and cons of doing a 3D release, how many screens there would be, and what the impact of the budget was going to be. And anyway, it was the first time I was ever talking to him.
Yeah.
And this is maybe 2 months after the last Lord of the Rings movie came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of those moments.
Did he seem? Was he New Zealand or Australian?
Yeah, he was in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And then another time it was kind of fun. I mean, you know, think what you want of them. I mean, some people have different opinions of them. But
Oh, yeah.
I was at Nerdist, and you know, look, it was hard to not also be fans of people who you were friends with. We were doing the Critical Role show out of the office, and you know, Critical Role had already taken off at that point. And it was turning into this phenomenon, and that was pretty awesome to see. But then we had Vin Diesel come in and do a one-shot with the Critical Role team, which was awesome. And Vin just came out. He was like a super nice guy, loves D&D, and came in and hung out with all of us. And you know, it's just really fun, average everyday experience.
That'd be pretty cool. Was his voice as deep as it is on movies, or
not quite as deep? Not quite as deep. But he still sounds like Vin.
Right. All right, we got one guy here. I'm gonna trim about. Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. On the roof. Oh, hello. There he is. Right in here. He's talking about you. He's talking about your mom. Get him. There we go. I don't think we got as many kills that time. Let's see. So, Peter Jackson, Vin Diesel. I wonder what it'd be like to have... I don't know. I was thinking, what would it be like to play some Dungeons & Dragons with, first of all, Vin Diesel, and then play Dungeons & Dragons with Vin Diesel, and if Peter Jackson plays Dungeons & Dragons, that'd be kind of crazy.
It would be crazy.
I don't
The
know.
person you really want to play with is Joe Manganiello. Joe's got a whole setup. Joe's got a basement.
Is that the one that's on social where a bunch of like celebrities are playing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Joe's got a basement, D&D, and
Mhm.
Sophia comes in and sort of helps set up the whole thing. And anyway, he's got a whole thing going. But
So
Joe's great.
So you've been there to that
I've never
game?
been there. But I've talked to Joe a couple times
Mhm.
about a few things.
That would be so much fun.
Just great. I mean, there's so many. Hollywood gets a bad rap. I mean, it's interesting. There's really a spectrum of people out there. There's great people, and then a bunch of A's, and but for the most part, I mean, there's good people.
Yeah.
There's good people, and the more niche you get, you know, people tend to get better.
Now, with these last 20 minutes, I'd love to figure out. I'd love people to know more about what you're doing the last few years. So, in gaming, in esports specifically, you helped lead one of the largest esports orgs in the world. What was that like? How did that start? Why did you jump into that? Where did it start?
Yeah, I mean, I was in LA, and I got a call about this job opportunity, and I had been following esports for a while. I knew some of the big team names, but I wouldn't say that I was like a huge fan or had gone to any events or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, got the call and started digging into it a little bit more, and I was looking at all the work that I had been doing on creating content for Twitch and YouTube and building brands. And the more I was looking at the growth of the industry and what Envy at the time, it was just Envy, and what Envy was, and the success that they'd had, and the people who were involved on the investor side, it felt like kind of a natural step for me, especially since gaming was, you know, if I had to pick any form of entertainment that would be my favorite, it's gaming by far. You know, I'd go watch movies and go to concerts and all that kind of thing, and I love pop culture in general, but you know, I'm somewhat of an introvert, and I'd love to just go home and play games, right? Sit on the couch and play games with friends or just by myself, and that was awesome. So, you know, pursued it, got the job, moved out to Dallas, and spent the first year and a half just kind of working with the team that was there on how do we create a real monetization strategy around esports. I had followed a lot of what was going on with other companies out there. You know, look, we could talk about FaZe, we could not talk about FaZe and where they are and all that kind of thing. But you know, they certainly had an Optic had, you know, before we brought them together. You know, FaZe was going down obviously a very different road from what traditional esports was. You know, following more the lifestyle and content side of the business, which is the path that I saw making a lot of sense for that industry. You know, if you can reach a lot of eyeballs, ultimately it's a media business. You can call it sports, but it's a media business. And that's what we started working on from day one.
Wow.
Worked on building a sales team, worked on building out plans on how do you actually reach your audience, how do you identify who your audience is, how do you create programs and content that serves that audience first. And esports, the competitive side of it, not that it's not important, but if the competitive side of it isn't serving reaching people, isn't serving building a fan base, then what's the purpose of it?
I'm in the basement. Sorry, I'm in the basement fighting a boss. I just took a bunch of fall damage.
I don't know how to get there.
This guy is really tough. Oh, good lord, he's right there. I'm so sorry. I made him angry. Maybe he'll stay. I don't know if he'll stay in the tower. So sorry. I'm gonna have to heal up. It takes a while to get him down, but you can get him down. And I'm gonna come back up.
I'll try and find you.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Let me let up. Keep going. Optic Envy coming into it.
Yeah. So look, it's a media business, and it's about reaching and kind of building your audience. And if you really think about it, now you're up. Now I'm going down.
He's right here, right there. Yeah, nice. Let's get him. Oh, he's tough. He's tough. Oh, you're keeping distracted. I'm hitting him.
Sports is really an entertainment. I mean, sports is it's most big sports teams have recognized that sports is entertainment at the end of the day, right? You go to a hockey game or a basketball game, and half of the game is entertainment. Like it's not listen to music.
You're alone. You got him. He's super low. He's one hit. Oh, there's somebody coming right here too. Look out! There's a person on you. Oh no! Oh, third partied. There's a lot going on there. Your dog is barking. We're what? Oh my. That was intense. People knew we were there for sure. Oh. I don't think we'll do that again. Yeah, go ahead.
So we really started focusing on audience building and audience growth and working with advertisers on who that audience was, and taking control over monetization ourselves, right? Not relying on any third parties to do that. Just basically saying, if we're going to be successful as an esports organization, we need to do it ourselves. Not to say that we can't have help, but if we're not taking the lead on these things, if we're not the ones building our own audience, if we're not the ones working with sponsors ourselves, then we can't figure out how to make this work. And so that led us to a couple of things, right? It led us to combining forces with Optic, who, was sort of opportunistic at the time. If you remember the story of how that all came together and Hector getting the rights back.
Sure. Yeah.
Bringing those two organizations together, because if you look at the resources that they had and their audience base and what we had been building over the last year and a half, which was sales and e-commerce and marketing, we put those two pieces together and it just made all the sense in the world. And then bringing on Esports Stadium in Arlington, which was this great venue to run events, and then bringing on Batissimo, which is this really fantastic provider of services for streamers and helping them monetize.
Right, it is good, pretty good. It is pretty good. I've enjoyed seeing it.
So diversifying the whole business was kind of the plan, and the company's in great shape now. Obviously, the whole industry is not in such great shape, and every company, including Optic, needs to make some adjustments in order to position themselves for the future of the whole thing. But I think that, look, one of the things that's probably going to happen in esports is there was a lot of growth in the industry, and whenever there's growth in an industry, just look at every industry sector for the last 20 years. Things get exciting. There's 700 companies that get developed in that sector. Not all of them can last, and esports is no different. And so, we had a whole bunch of organizations form, and there were probably too many. And we're probably going to not see that many be still around in the next couple of years. But
right.
That's probably okay.
Are there esport orgs out there that are apparel company first, or then they turn into esport orgs? What do you see? Like, I've just noticed, like 100 Thieves, right? I feel like they're apparel first. I think, I don't know. I mean, I've known you guys a lot longer. I've known what you've done longer, but you have great apparel. But I don't know if, like, is the push sometimes to rock apparel to get people in, or is that the afterthought?
I think there's a lot of ways to go around. I think you have to start with whatever builds you an audience. Like, anything that has an audience, like a real audience, and I don't mean just viewers, right? Because look, Animal Planet has an audience. There's a difference between an audience and a fan base. And anything that has a fan base can be successful at building other lines of business around.
Okay, I like that. Oh, somebody low. He's coming up the zip. Where is he? Oh, you pushing him? Oh, I'm coming. Oh, nice work.
A little too close to you.
Yeah. Okay, we're doing good. Optic. Oops. Ooh. Close. Come on outside here, buddy. Oh, that's his bot. Dang it. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I'm in this building. He's right in the back. I got the guy in the back. I'm missing every shot. I'm coming somehow. Oh, you're gonna finish him? You thirst him? Okay. This guy's up here. All right. Hey, miss every shot, mother. No! You can't turn around. That's dumb. That's dumb. You can't turn around that quick with that thing. That's why I did that. Because if you get on the other side, they can't turn around that. Anyways, okay. Last game here.
Yeah.
And esports industry-wise, I love what you've done. I love what you've done in esports, media, gaming, entertainment. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to get to know you over these past few years, doing different stuff together. But like, where do we need the gaming and esports industry to go? What is your?
Well, I think you got to recognize that there's two separate pieces to esports, right? You've got the A-level professional side of it, which is really more of a media and entertainment business. And then you've got the grassroots side of esports, which is, younger generation and collective and develop, educational development, and it's different. It's a part of the business that has a lot of learning associated with it. And I don't think you can really equate the two things together. I think a lot of people are looking for some through line that basically says, oh, you play developmental esports and gaming at like 10, and that leads you to a professional career in esports. We're not there yet. Where you can make that linkage in my mind. So we need to see kind of two separate things happening. I think it's somewhat a disservice to both pieces for people to say, hey, why isn't what I'll call A-tier esports or media entertainment esports doing enough to support grassroots esports, and why doesn't grassroots esports lead its way? Like, why aren't there all those pieces in place to get to that top level? There's those two things aren't there yet, and you're asking for a level of sophistication that the industry hasn't grown into yet. Those two things have to kind of happen in their own levels, and they'll work their way out.
Is the correlation you're trying to make, are we still stuck on the sports pipeline of the Pee-wee football to high school, college, pro, and amateur?
We are. We are
okay.
At a certain level. I think we need to be focused more on the educational development side of what esports can bring to the table, which is, there's a lot of communication work that happens through esports. There's a lot of learning about coding and design. And look, my kid is doing esports after school, and things that he's learning, right? He loves to spend his time doing Minecraft and level design, and he's not sitting here saying, "Hey, someday I want to be a professional esports."
Yeah.
He's got other ambitions that I think are fantastic, that are related to gaming, that are related to coding. And I gotta find a weapon here.
Dude, I just lit this dude up.
With your hands?
No, I found a gun, luckily. I picked one up on the ground. So is he like at a program after school, or what how's he playing?
Yeah, his school's got a program. He's doing Rocket League, and
yeah,
it's hard. Rocket League's hard. I don't know if you've played much.
Yes, it is.
I played for the first time. And, obviously we had a pro Rocket League team, and I have way more respect for those guys. That was.
I'm going around the back to try and get him. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, you got him. Nice work. He's on the other side of the rock here. Oh, he's inside.
I think I'm pretty good at physics and geometry, and I was like way out of
Yeah. Oh, I'm missing. There we go. Woo! It's tough. Rocket League, yes. Rocket League is... I have played it with my kids, and I have hosted it and shoutcasted it. And I don't think I want to shoutcast it again, because it is... I don't know. Like, I could shoutcast Fortnite, probably, or maybe Call of Duty or something, but obviously not professionally. But I did it for, like, the NJCAA. This last year. Oh, I'm getting lit. I'm dead. Oh. I'm gonna put on a pot here, try to survive. He's back behind you. Oh shoot, that dude destroyed my life. 29. Somebody's coming close. He's right outside your right. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh no. Oh no, we're dead. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. He's behind us.
I got it.
I'm gonna hide in the hay bale.
Oh, I'm dead. He's right outside the hay bale.
I know. I'm waiting. I'm trying to figure out how to get out. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh no.
Oh man.
We both vaulted. We both vaulted to my death. So the lobby's got a little harder.
Seriously.
So wrapping up, I appreciate all this stuff, really. And you mentioned it's not the sports model any longer. And well, we shouldn't be thinking of it that way, right? And yeah. Is there we've called it the Wild West. Is the terminology, the space exploration better? Like, should we have called it like esports or competitive gaming years ago? What in the next 5 years, what are we gonna have to do to accomplish better things in esports? And don't go down your consultant path, because you'll have to charge me. But like, what's the high level stuff?
Yeah, and there needs to be coordination, right? The biggest thing is there needs to be more coordination and less. There needs to be just more coordination at both levels, right? There needs to be fewer people spouting different ideas. Like that's why at a certain level, some of what you're seeing now is probably ultimately a good thing, because like when you've got 7 different companies going to high schools saying this is how it's going to work and this is how it's going to work, and some are charging the high schools and some aren't charging the high schools and some are doing it outside of high schools, and it's just
or it's tech companies doing it too.
Yeah,
like right.
Yeah, you can't have that work, right? You got in other sports and other types of things, you've got either large franchise type operations, right? Like Code Ninjas, right? Or Code Rev, and you've got these things that are everywhere, Mathnasium,
right?
Or you've got things like AAU that are everywhere, or Junior Olympics. And then on the other side of it, you've got orgs that are all in co-opetition, right? It's like, hey, here we are competing against each other in these leagues, but we're not really working together to make these leagues better. We're all fighting to get our share of the sponsorship dollars. We're all
Sure.
And there's no central operation. There's the individual leagues. Riot's got a league, Activision's got a league, Epic's got a league, but they're not working with each other for obvious reasons. But we're working with all of them. So how do you find a way for? Shouldn't there be some kind of organization that's in the middle that every one of these bigger tier orgs funds and says, hey, you know, NFL type system, you know, head office, you go do sponsorship deals. You go bundle up all of our rights. You go make deals on behalf of all of us so that we don't get taken advantage of and all these things. You know, you go represent us with Epic and with Riot and with, you know, Activision, as opposed to the other way around. So those are kind of the big things that I see have to ultimately change in order for there to be more sophistication happening.
Yeah.
But it's complicated, right? It's complicated. So I think coming out of this, we'll see some of those things start to happen. I just don't know if it's, you know, in the next 6 months or the next 6 years.
As Envy and Optic, when you say that kind of coordination, does each pro esports org need to go and reach out to every single publisher just to play and pay and all that stuff? There's no coordination just to help a pro esports org, like, know the ropes?
There's nothing that exists really right now. I mean, nothing right now. It's like it's harder to start something from scratch. You know, when you look at the big organizations, and the big organizations are struggling to sort of make a profit, it's hard to think about doing it.
Isn't it so much different though than what we're used to? Of, like, if we do the sports analogy to, like, the Sacramento Kings, they were one of the early had esports in their arena, and they had a team. One of them, there were many of them, but that's just one I went to early on in, like, 2017. And they are a basketball organization, but maybe they crossed over before that into charity, and they crossed over before that into supporting NBA Cares and junior NBA. So they started doing stuff, but they started as an org. They started as an org, and then they brought other types of stuff inward, or to be a part of. Compared to, I feel like an esports org, they are not just using a basketball, right? There's 10 different publishers they're trying to get involved in. I feel like it's the core. I feel like there's not a great comparison out there, unless I'm totally missing it.
No, I mean, so that takes me back to the place where you say, hey, are they a basketball organization or are they an entertainment company?
Okay.
You know, and I think that applies to again, back to everything that has a big fandom. You might start in one place, but that doesn't mean you have to stay in that place. There's lots of things that have fandoms that can expand beyond where they came from. You know, look at Complex, which started in one place and now has a whole bunch of other things that they're involved with. You know, there's a part of me that's got this idea that it wouldn't be absolutely crazy to think that the brands that we see in professional sports, and this is how it works more in Europe with some of the clubs, where you've got clubs that have a soccer team and a basketball team and a volleyball team.
Okay.
And is there a version of that here in the US where you've got clubs, you know, like take the Yankees or take the Cowboys, and it's okay, well, maybe someday in the future, the Cowboys is the name of the club that has the basketball team and the football team and the esports team. And
interesting.
Also, you know, has different arenas, and they compete and they create lots of different kind of live events and programming. And the jerseys are the same across everything, and they work with the high schools. So I don't think it's crazy to think that we end up in a world that gets there, because sports popularities kind of come and go, and people are not one-dimensional, and they like different things. And so when you start thinking about efficiencies of, hey, I'm a person and I like these 3 things and I don't like those 3 things, it ultimately sort of lends itself to a place where you say, hey, I do like the fact that I've got local things. So the idea of there being some kind of geographical centricity to, the Northeast club and the Midwest club and the Southeast club, all that makes sense. But can't you do more? I mean, why does a brand, once it reaches a certain state of awareness and understanding, have to just be that one thing?
Well said, sir. Man, I love following your content, your stuff on social, that you dive in deep to the hard questions, and it's really educational. And I have about a jillion more questions, but I definitely have to start paying, because, and everybody else out here is going to start donating, because this is some really good advice, and you need to be recognized for it. So, Adam, that was fun. That was fun, man.
I appreciate that. That's on 2 wins. Two wins.
2 wins. Let's go. We're like the best. We're the best streamers, gamers on LinkedIn right now.
Today,
the only
this hour. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. The screen is all yours. You get to say whatever you want, promote whatever you want. Tell people to find you on any socials. And the screen is yours. Ready? 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Check out my postings on LinkedIn. That's where I tend to write most of what I put out about media and entertainment space and what's coming down the pipe. And occasionally on Twitter, that's where I tend to be a little less reverent about things that are going on. But reach out anytime. Happy to chat with anybody, set up some time, and look forward to meeting some of you in person one day.
Thank you, Adam. This has been fun. I hope you get some game time in with your kiddos, play some Fortnite, and maybe if we all could play Hogwarts Legacy together someday and go destroy some giants or something. I have no idea. Still, I need to learn more about it.
My kid's a Slytherin fan. So
okay.
That's gonna be. I don't know where that came from, but he's like, I love Slytherin. Okay.
Well, hey, we look out for him, man. Look out. Yeah. He could be stealing cookies in the middle of the night. You never know. Slytherin. Well, awesome. You feel free to stick around the control room. I'm gonna shut down. If not, you can head out. But man, thank you again, Adam. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for being here on Invite Sent. It was a great time getting a few dubs on Fortnite, playing some Zero builds. And please come back next Wednesday. We're going to be playing some Uno with Mike and Christy from Generation Esports. We're going to be doing a lot of other shows. We've got Aaron, Ashley, Simon coming down the pipe in a few months here soon. We've got just a lot of fun, capable, amazing people in our gaming and esports industry that just are lots of fun to interview and talk to. Wallace Santos from Main Gear is going to be on. Christina Warburn from Riot. Got some other streamers. Amon Green. Just a lot of fun stuff. So please stick around. Usually Wednesdays and Fridays. Check out Invite Sent. Freddie, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Everybody else in the chat on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hello, my name is Christy Kester. As a public educator for the past 24 years, I have watched as interest in esports has exploded in schools across the world. Last fall, I joined the High School Esports League and helped to establish the education department. Since then, we have been working hard to integrate esports into education to create a scholastic gaming experience where students can learn, play, and compete. With our evidence-based, STEM.org-approved gaming concepts curriculum, schools can offer 4-credit classes during the school day that help improve chronic absenteeism, student engagement, and mental health.
As a senior health advisor for High School Esports League and a former ER physician, I see the incredible need for supporting mental health in students in today's schools. In fact, schools at a formidable crossroads where a pervasive and persistent decline in youth mental health now intersects with staff burnout. This has not been a sudden problem, but rather one we've seen over decades. The American Academy of Pediatrics announced in 2019 that 1 out of 3 students meets the criteria for generalized anxiety disorder before graduation. And the CDC reaffirmed that between 2009 and 2019, depression increased in adolescents by roughly 40%. The most telltale sign that grabbed all of our hearts was when the Surgeon General announced in December of 2021 that female adolescents increased their visits to the emergency departments around the nation by 51% for suicidal ideations. students. In the face of this, schools are desperately seeking solutions and ways to support those that struggle with mental health challenges. Now, these statistics that I mentioned are averages. We know there are some cohorts that are at higher risk, particularly those students who do not feel they have a safe place or a legitimate connection to school. That's where esports represents a tremendous opportunity. Students who are not currently involved with sports, music, arts, and traditional extracurriculars are left with minimal opportunities to make a connection. Yet many of these students find connections to their friends and other social outlets through online activity, including gaming. So, Scholastic Gaming represents an opportunity to leverage an area of interest into a legitimate class that meets state standards and expectations, all through an evidence-based curriculum that can simultaneously support self-esteem, self-efficacy, and life skills in many kids who desperately need it.
Hi, my name is Michael Russell. During my career as a teacher, I was fortunate enough to have the support of my administrator as I began the journey to establish the first 4-credit Scholastic Gaming course in the nation. At HSEO, we have the resources and data to help you speak with your administrators about the impact that Scholastic Gaming and esports can have for your students. We have strategies that can help you with acquiring technology and curriculum, such as ESSER funds, grant applications, and partnerships. The High School Esports League has invested significant resources in helping our education partners, and we are excited about this opportunity to help you establish Scholastic Gaming in your school.